What's up, Applied English, and welcome to our first planned virtual day. One thing that I would encourage all of you to do just on this virtual day, if you haven't taken a moment yet to say a prayer just for your learning today, I encourage you to pause our video, say a quick prayer for your learning. Before you continue, I will try to keep this video fairly short today. Alright, y'all, I hope you had plenty of time to pause the video and say a quick prayer. We'll continue from here. As it says, our objective today is to write clean, complete sentences, taking a little bit of a break from our learning about verbs today, although we will talk about verbs a little bit. The main thing that I'll guide you through on this video is the sentence writing notes that you'll see just right below this agenda. You're watching the video right now, but we'll walk through the PowerPoint as well. I will tell you, towards the end of this video, I will just give a brief overview of that sentence writing practice assignment in Schoology. So you'll be able to kind of get a quick overview, understand what you're doing on that assignment by watching this entire video. That assignment itself will be due by 11:59 p.m. tonight. It is fairly short, so I don't think that'll be much of a problem. My main goal for you guys today is to get used to these virtual days and know how to access both videos and simple assignments. I'm going to click back into our lesson folder here. So Monday, September 25th, you're watching our sentence writing notes right now. I'll dive into the PowerPoint in a moment here. Sentence writing practice we'll look at the end of this video. And I should say, you can actually download this PowerPoint by clicking on its title here, or you can click View if you want to follow along on your screen. I'm just going to open up my PowerPoint in PowerPoint. Makes it a little bit easier to teach from. Alright, y'all, sorry if there's a weird little video jump there. Had to get my PowerPoint set up there. So this PowerPoint is titled Sentence Basics and Online Messages. I don't have any notes handed out to you to fill out, but if you want to take your own paper notes, you may. Otherwise, I hope these are just some basics for us to understand as we really try to sharpen our sentence writing moving forward. I should say, I don't know if we'll get to the online messaging part of this, just due to time, but I definitely want to focus on the sentence basics part of this today. First of all, what makes a sentence? There are two major building blocks that every sentence needs. In order for a sentence to be complete, it has to have both a subject and a verb. We know verbs well by now, but a sentence can have multiple verbs and or multiple subjects. It's possible for a sentence to have as few as one subject and one verb. As I mentioned a moment ago, we know verbs well. We've been practicing them. Verb is whatever the action the subject takes in a sentence. States of being, like the forms of to be, are also verbs. We practiced linking verbs about a week ago. Subjects would be who or what the sentence is about. We've hinted at this in class, but this will always be a noun or a pronoun. It's very often the first element in a sentence to look for. Some examples. I find examples to be the best way to learn new content. If we look at this sentence, we've got Tommy and his puppy caught the charging rhinoceros. Notice that Tommy and puppy are underlined as subjects. There happen to be two in this sentence, but they're both doing the same verb. They both caught, or are catching in the present tense, the charging rhinoceros. Subject can be pronouns as well, like we see you in the second example here. You are my favorite student. That's the truth. Notice there that we have the linking verb are there. Again, notice what happens if we remove subjects or verbs from the sentences. Those sentences would no longer work. If I just said caught the charging rhinoceros, it opens up the question, who caught the charging rhinoceros? We need a subject there. If I just said you my favorite student, that is way too slangy. We need a verb there in order to be writing or speaking informal English. You are my favorite student. A little bit of practice. It might not be a bad idea to pause this video so you can try these on your own. I'll walk through these. Again, we're just looking for subjects and verbs for fun. Alright, let's try them together here. A very cute puppy shredded my homework. Personally, I find it easiest to spot verbs first in a sentence because I like to ask the question who or what is verbing. That's the question for finding subjects. If I look at sentence number 1, I notice shredded immediately. It ends in ed, so it's past tense. It's an action verb. I ask the question who or what did the shredding. It's the puppy as my sentence's subject. Puppy shredded. Agent Maxwell must locate and defuse the bomb before the plane lands. That sentence is complex because there are two subjects and verbs. We have Agent Maxwell must locate and defuse. Actually, there's three verbs in this sentence. Agent Maxwell is a subject. Agent Maxwell has to do two verbs. Locate is an action verb. Defuse is an action verb. We also have before the plane lands. Lands is another verb with plane as its subject. I must have written this a couple of years ago. Baby Hantak will be an adorable boy. On this one we have Baby Hantak as a subject. Be is technically my main verb. Will is a helping verb to put it in the future tense. And the fourth one, either he or she is the imposter. I've got my linking verb is there, but there are two subjects. We have he and she. They're just connected by that conjunction or. So we have two subject pronouns, he and she. The verb is. Again, if I drop subjects or verbs from any of these sentences fall apart. Those are necessary building blocks for sentence writing. There is one more building block that we should be aware of for sentence writing. In order for a sentence to be complete, it must also make sense on its own. This is where we get to something a little more complex that we'll touch on next semester especially. But this is what happens when we begin a sentence with a subordinating conjunction. It says see your notes. I don't have those for you just yet. Again, I think we'll look at that in semester 2 especially. But imagine for a second that I have a sentence that says, because I enjoy silly pranks. This sentence does have a subject, I. It does have a verb, enjoy, but this sentence doesn't make sense by itself because of that word because right there. If I were to drop that subordinating conjunction, I enjoy silly pranks, that's a complete sentence now. The last thing we'll talk about with sentence writing is just some grammatical rules. This is what's most important for me to see as we practice sentence writing moving forward. The two grammar rules. The first thing is capitalization. We already know to capitalize proper nouns, like our names, or like the name of the school, or our state, or our city. We're also going to capitalize the first word in every sentence. I'm sure you knew that rule already, but this is just a matter of reinforcing it moving forward. We always also want to end a sentence with an end mark. The three end marks in English are periods, that's the most common one, question marks for questions, or exclamation marks when we need to show more emotion. This last slide is just for fun to correct the errors. Again, I might encourage you to pause this so we can take a look at it together in just a moment. We just want to correct any errors you notice in these sentences. Alright, the first sentence, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. The only error there is that it lacks an end mark. Personally, I would use a period to end that sentence. It already has the capital T in the, so we don't have to fix capitalization. Just needed a period at the end. Number 2 is the opposite. This one has its end mark, but we have some capitalization errors early on. Both agent and Maxwell should be capitalized. First of all, because they're proper nouns, but second of all, because agent is the first word in the sentence. Number 3, we have do you like waffles? Clearly, capitalization is just fine. This one needs an end mark. Don't get confused here. This should be a question mark, because this third statement is actually a question. Do you like waffles? And the last one is it stopped raining. This one's a double whammy. It both needs an end mark, period or exclamation mark would be fine there. We should capitalize it as the first word in the sentence. We will not get around to the messaging stuff today because of time. I want to finish this one just by giving a quick overview of your sentence writing practice. So this one is what we call a OneDrive assignment. It'll give you a copy of a document. You should be able to click My Document up here and start typing within it. I'm just going to open it up so I can go through directions and give you guys maybe a quick example. I apologize that this video is running a little over on time. I'm going to do my best to do this quickly. Right now it should be opening my document. I can't make significant changes to it because I think it would make changes on your document as well, but I do want to walk through directions. So, it says, now that we've reviewed verbs, nouns, pronouns, we've mostly done verbs and nouns so far, we have the basics for writing complete sentences, like we just discussed. All I'm asking you to do is respond to each of the following questions in one or two complete sentences. Please don't overdo it. Just each of these responses should just be a sentence or two, just to give a clear answer. Don't forget, along with containing a subject and a verb, your sentences should also begin with capital letters. I am looking for that. And ending with end marks like periods or question marks. These should probably all be periods. The 5 questions should be 5, yep. I'm grading each of these maybe out of 2 points. Just checking for things like capitalization and end marks. Again, no right or wrong answers really. First one, what is your favorite class at MLHS so far? You don't have to answer applied English, you can be honest here, but it's just a simple matter of clicking and typing your response. My favorite class is blah blah blah, right? Don't forget your period at the end of your sentence. That's all I'm really asking you to do on each of these questions there. The other ones, if you were stranded on a desert island, what would you most want to have with you? Where is the best place to get lunch in Milwaukee? What are you afraid of? That can be something big, something small, something really personal. Again, no right or wrong answers here, really, as long as they're in complete sentences. And number 5, who has had the most positive influence on your life so far? Again, please answer these in complete sentences, not just single words or small phrases. Make sure you're using capitalization and end marks. Those are the main things I'm looking for before we move on to more verb stuff tomorrow. Again, I apologize if I went a little over on time. I hope directions were clear. I will tell you that I will be available throughout the afternoon in Microsoft Teams and by my email. So if you do have any questions about our assignment or our learning today, you can always hit me up with a message. I'll do my best to get back to you. Peace.